know how many other marketing outfits wanted that account?" he asked, crossing the room to her. Before she knew what he was about to do, he reached out and pulled her into his arms for a hug. "And I owe it all to you, Nikki." It was meant to be just a hug. She didn't know what happened, but the next thing she knew, Jonas Steele was lowering his head and slanting his mouth over hers in one hell of a kiss. Chapter 1. 18 months later. Jonas Steele felt an argument coming on. "I hear you, Mom, but I just don't feel what you're saying," he spoke into his iPhone. His lips tightened to a frown as he alighted from the shiny black BMW two-seater roadster and glanced around while sliding his aviator-style sunglasses into the pocket of his jacket. "Whoa, but I'd love to feel all over on those," he quickly thought when his gaze landed on the legs of a woman who was getting out of her car. And they were definitely a gorgeous pair. Long, smooth, and shapely. "You and I need to do lunch to discuss this further, Jonas." His attention was immediately pulled back to the conversation with his mother. He rolled his eyes heavenward. "I'd love to, Mom. Anytime, any place. You are my #1 girl, but certain topics are off limits." He glanced back to where he'd seen the pair of sexy legs just seconds earlier, only to find the owner gone. Crap. Frustration seeped into his pores. He would have loved seeing the rest of her. Certainly he would not have been disappointed. His frown deepened when his mother said, "That's utter nonsense, Jonas. You can't restrict me from certain topics. I'm your mother." He shook his head as he made his way across the parking lot. He loved his mother to death, but lately, talking to the beautiful Eden Steele, former international fashion model and the woman who had captured his father's heart close to 40 years ago, was draining on his senses. "True, however, you leave me no choice. With Galen and Eli married off, now you want to give your remaining 4 single sons grief, but we won't let you." "You won't?" "No. Although I can't speak for the others, I can speak for myself, and like I've told you numerous times before, I intend to be a bachelor for life." Her soft chuckle flitted across the phone. "You sound so confident about that. Do I need to remind you that Galen and Eli used to tell me the same thing? And quite often, I might add. Now look what happened to them. Both got married in the last year." Jonas didn't want to look. In fact, he didn't want to spend a single moment analyzing what could have possibly made 2 intelligent, fun-loving, die-hard womanizers like his brothers Galen and Eli fall in love. Galen had gotten married 10 months ago, and Eli had tied the knot on Christmas Day. Granted, Jonas would be the first to admit they had married gorgeous women. But still, look how many women they'd given up to be committed for the rest of their lives to just one. It made no sense. Bottom line, Galen and Eli were whipped, and the sad thing about it was it didn't seem to bother them. And he was sure his mother had heard by now that another bachelor friend of theirs, by the name of York Ellis, who lived in New York, was taking the plunge this weekend in time for Valentine's Day. Again, Jonas was convinced that, like Galen and Eli, York needed to have his head examined for giving up his bachelor status. "You will be here for dinner Thursday night, right?" Her words intruded on his thoughts. "Do I have a choice?" "There are always choices, Jonas." Just like there are always consequences, he thought, remembering what had happened to his brother Mercury when he decided to skip one of their mother's weekly Thursday night dinners. Before Mercury could get out of bed the next morning, Eden Steele had arrived on his doorstep. She had informed her AWOL son that since he had missed such an important family function, she was duty-bound to spend the entire day with him. And then she had the nerve to invite the woman Mercury had spent the night with to tag along. Their mother had deliberately overlooked Mercury's bed them but never wed them policy when it came to women. Since then, none of Eden's sons had been brave enough to miss a Thursday night chowdown. The last thing any of them needed was an unexpected drop-in from Mommy Dearest. "I'll be there, Mom," he said, deciding he needed to get her off the phone. "I'll hold you to that, and you're welcome to bring a lady friend." He caught himself. He was about to tell her he didn't have lady friends, just bed partners. "Thanks, but no thanks. As usual."